teachers. So I welcome every one of you once again, and we are going to just start this live workshop. So let's go. So Miss Pooja, the stage is all yours. Miss Sakshi, the stage is all yours. So let's begin this workshop.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the warm welcome. Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. I hope all of you are doing safe. I know it's winter, so I hope there's something warm beside you tea, coffee, water, whatever helps you. And as it was mentioned kindly by our presenter also, that this is going to be an interactive workshop. Okay. I mean, you can find PPTs online. There are so many PPTs, right, which talk about stress management, coping techniques. But what is different about this workshop is we're going to be talking with each other, because that is something which is very important in understanding that this is your safe space. And yes, safe space is for everyone, right? There is no discrimination with gender, age, or caste, right? So the more you can talk about yourself and with me, the more you will feel the stress already reducing, and I can guarantee you that. Okay. And with that note, let's start our workshop. As you can see in the chat box, or actually we can, I think, include the link again. There's a small stress assessment. Now, before you begin the stress assessment, let me give you quick instructions. It's completely confidential, okay? Even I won't get to see your scores. Even I won't get to know who is answering what. This is for your individual understanding. How stressed are you? Because we talk about stress very casually nowadays. I'm very stressed. I'm very stressed. But how stressed are you? Is it medium? Is it high? Is it low? So if you do the stress assessment, you'll get to know your individual scores, and it is absolutely confidential. Sakshi, would you like to give some additional instructions over here?
Right, Pooja, thank you. So, guys, you can just click on this link, click on Google sign up. It's just a one-click sign up. You'll be redirected to the stress assessment. It will hardly take 2 minutes to complete the assessment. Be honest with yourself to complete this assessment, so that you get to know that how stressed are you, how underestimated our stress can be sometimes. So, I think this is a good start to the workshop. There is no referral code that you need to fill in. There is nothing that you need. It's an open link where you can access the stress assessment for free.
Anytime you have any questions, please do let us know if you're getting stuck anywhere. And once you are done, kindly let us know in the chat section that I'm done. Anything will do. An emoticon, a hands up, or just yes. Thank you so much. I think I can speak for everyone. There is a lot of different responses. We got some moderate, we got some medium, right? We got some low. So I'm thankful to all of you who participated. Whoever did not, no worries. You can do it later on. This is for your understanding, okay? So yes, what is stress? We keep on saying, as mentioned in the beginning of the workshop, that we are so stressed nowadays. But what is the exact meaning of stress? Now, there's a lot of dictionary meaning out there, but let's simplify it. Stress is only felt when the demands that you're feeling from the environment, it's very, very high than the resources you have. Okay. So basically, if your demands are professionally like a teacher or an administrator, or even as a student, if you feel the demand is extremely high and you do not have the present resources, that is when you feel stressed. And stress is not just behavior. We keep on saying that I can understand that I'm stressed by my behavior, but stress is also emotional, it can be physical, it can be cognition, which is your thought, right? And all of these, they affect your behavior together. What is stress for you might not be stressful for someone else. For example, some people, when they feel stressed, they binge eat or they scroll social media. But maybe for you, it can be something else. It can be maybe sleeping a little bit more, right? Or maybe not able to go out of your home, so you isolate yourself. So, the way you can be stressed and the way you cope with stress is different from person to person. And that is the most important note I want to start with, because it's very easy to compare. You do this, you do that. Arey, I'm not stressed because of this. Why are you so stressed? But that means we are forgetting the individual differences. We need to understand India has so much of diversity. So no matter how you say ki I know better, you can do this, you are just stressing the person out more. So, yes, what is stress? When your demands are higher than your resources and you are reacting to it physically, emotionally, cognitively, and in short, behaviorally. All right. Actually, we can go to the next slide. All right. So, yes, next time if your students ask you, ma'am, I'm stressed, or they tell you, ma'am, you look stressed, or sir, you look stressed, you now know what it means, which is it has a very circular effect, physical, mental, and emotional, which can, of course, lead to also physical health disorders, which we'll come to shortly. All right. Actually, we can go to the next slide. All right. So there are some signs and symptoms very specifically pointed out in front of you in the screen. Now, all you have to do is, while I'm explaining to you, try to see if you have seen yourself having these signs or symptoms. There are so many articles out there, right? And our brain gets confused. What are the signs of symptoms of stress? But we have made it much more easier for you. You can definitely keep a mental check or you can do a physical check, however it helps you. So I'm going to use a case study example of a teacher only so that you can identify yourself better. We had a teacher who came to our session and mentioned that, ma'am, I was doing absolutely fine. But then I started noticing some symptoms, which my partner also pointed out to me. And when I asked them what were the symptoms, these were the following: physical, or else in behavior what they felt was that they had a racing heart. Okay, very heartbeat increasing. It was like they will have a cardiac arrest, and they went to every cardiologist and they said your reports are all fine, nothing physically wrong. They also had headache. They thought maybe it has a migraine effect, but they never thought it can be a tension headache as well. So again, went to every doctor and doctor said your reports are all clear. They also started noticing that even though they are a subject matter expert, they started having cold, sweaty hands. The pen would slip or the fingers would slip over the keyboard. There was shallow or erratic breathing. So, no matter how much they were trying to breathe in and breathe out, it was not possible to take care of their breathing pattern at all. There was shoulder or back pain, right? There's cervical pain, and I think work from home or ever since pandemic, this has increased a lot. So many people are talking also of spondylitis, right? So it can be a physical effect of stress as well. India is known as the place where there's everyone, one person in home having upset tummy. We have diarrhea or we don't have proper digestion process, and we go to so many doctors thinking it must be because of some digestion issue. But have you wondered, is it because of stress? Because when you're not able to process stress properly, your digestion takes place in a very negative manner. Acidity, gas, right? If you're not able to eat properly, pukish sensation, nauseated, these are actually symptoms of stress and not of anything else. Next, we go to rushing around. This person reported to me that, like a very robotic toy, he was not able to stop. He was walking and pacing like someone had possessed him. That's because he was so stressed he did not know how to sit and relax. And he could only feel better if he was pacing around the room, making notes, or doing the assignments for the students. Next is working longer hours. So even though you have a clock in front of you which says tick tick, your time is up, you're not able to stop. You're not able to stop because the stress is so overwhelming that the working hours just become longer and longer, right? Okay, losing touch with close ones. I think in pandemic, this is many times we have noticed when we have our household work, our work load as well, we are not able to relax. So even though our partners, our friends are there, we are not able to have a conversation with them. So stress can lead to isolation, or it can also lead to the opposite one. You are so stressed that you would not like to relax at all with the work, right? You would want to over engage with your people. So, be it party or be it just watching movies or just tea or coffee conversations, you're trying to escape your stress because once you think about that stress, you feel more sad, you feel very anxious. We talk about next fatigue and sleep disturbances. So, by fatigue and sleep disturbances, we mean stress can affect our sleep and our food parameters as well. So, under eating or overeating, if you're oversleeping or undersleeping, that can be because of stress as well. Last but not the least, this weight fluctuation that we easily talk about, right? Ki you have become very fat or you've become very thin. Sometimes it's not because of diet. We keep on talking about diet, right? But it can be also a very invisible factor which is known as stress, because when we are very stressed, our metabolism it gets affected in a very negative manner. Now, these were the behavioral and physical symptoms that we noted with the person. But the symptoms that we don't talk about or we cannot identify more easily are the mental and emotional effects of stress. So, as I mentioned, a subject expert matter, supposed to remember every minute details, this person started forgetting even subtraction and multiplication. He could not remember how to do the simplest of tables of mathematics. He found it so hard to concentrate that he started even screaming sometimes, which was an outburst of stress. What happened? Why can't I even concentrate on a class 2 textbook? He started worrying about things which are irrelevant. Have I locked my door properly? Have I taken care of my pets? Have I taken care of the assignment which was supposed to be due tomorrow? Next, he had difficulty processing information. So, just like we have meetings every day, he could not process any information that was being mentioned, which were as simple as everything he knew just like yesterday. Negative self statements, which we know commonly as, the inner self critic, the very negative self critic, it started being more prominent, more bigger, like a very bad demon sitting on his shoulder. It kept on telling him, "You're not good enough. You're a horrible teacher. You're a horrible house, maker. You're not a provider. You are not meant to be here." And he started believing those voices, those statements which kept on circling around his head. This led him to have a lot of irritation and anger. His self esteem kept on crashing. And there was a lot of fear that he's going to lose his job, his parents are not going to understand him, his partner is going to leave him, which led him to having a lot of crying sessions. And thankfully, therapy has a safe space. We feel the shame in crying, but he had uncontrollable tears and he could not stop himself. Lastly, it does lead to depressive symptoms. So, stress in the long run can turn into anxiety or depression. He started questioning the very meaning of life, and nothing used to make him feel happy, even listening to a song or spending time with his loved ones. So, it's like, where am I? Where is that previous version of me? That is the last statement he said at the end of our first therapy session. Ma'am, can you help me to get back that previous version of me? So I'm now going to pause and I'm going to make you have a little bit of reflection. Have you ever resonated with any of the statements above, be it recently or be it previously? Because if you have, that means you have been stressed, but you haven't noticed the red flags. And by red flags, we mean when do you need to see a professional? Just like we have parameters to see a physical person, a physician, when should you see a therapist? So, not only the symptoms are important, but what you need to remember is, are they happening consistently? If you have noticed yourself experiencing them over 1 week consistently, it's a red flag. If you see it affecting your daily life functioning, it's a red flag. If you see not only you asking yourself, but the people around you that I cannot recognize you, I like that previous version of you. You were funny, you were happy, you were so cheerful. That's a red flag. But the issue is we have normalized our stress symptoms. We think it's a phase, we think it'll go away. So that's why I thought it's very important that you educate yourself and you empower yourself with the signs and symptoms of stress, because then only can you prevent and have precaution before it becomes very serious mental health disorders, which are known as anxiety, depression, etc. So I'm going to pause and ask, have you ever, any one of you, identified any of these symptoms? You can let us know in the chat section. And remember, this is a safe space. We're just trying to open up and be ourselves. Because I have, I'm sure others have as well.
We have
Yes.
already started getting some yeses in the chat box.
Yes, I can see some people saying yes. Thank you so much. Right? Yes. Thank you for being open and honest. This is just going to help you for your prevention and precaution later on. Thank you. Yes. I'm happy that you're being all open and very encouraging. Sure. Thank you so much. So, yes, see, it's from person to person. It's not one person, but everyone goes through it. But because of the stigma and because we are very scared of log kya kahenge, we do not share, right? So this is an important mechanism, just like you measure your BP maybe or your temperature, right? From time to time, you can keep a track of your symptoms. And the way you can track your symptoms, you can understand, is it manageable or is it going towards something more serious? And then you would know when to check in with a therapist. All right. So that was our segment of signs and symptoms of stress. Actually, we can go to the next slide, please. All right. So this is a place where we are going to have the poll. What do you think? Do you think all stress is bad for us? No, stress is good. Yes, stress is bad. So what do you think? All stress, is it bad for us? Or do you think some stress is good for us? I'll leave the rest to you. Let's have the poll.
We're getting good results. So we got 29% people, around 13 people voted no, stress is good. 38% voted yes, stress is bad, 17 people, and about 15% voted, about 7 people. That's why we are having this workshop. And 15% don't know, they are not sure. But I see that about 49% people only participated in it. You are still here, you just have to click, give your opinion. What do you think? Is stress bad for us or it is good for us? You can vote.
This is for you guys. Just reflect. Stress is good or stress is bad? I know I mentioned signs and symptoms which are very negative. That's why it might make you feel maybe stress is bad. But do you think there's a possibility stress is good?
Majority goes with stress is bad.
Hmm. Interesting. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who participated. Let's see if it is true or false. Okay. Actually, let's go to the next slide. So, yes, not all stress is bad because there are two kinds of stress, there is distress and there is eustress. Now, what is distress? Distress, in short, is the kind of stress which becomes unbearable. As mentioned, the demands are so high that you feel oppressed under it. It's like a slave for you, right? You become a slave to its demands. So that's the bad kind of stress, which leads to the negative impact that we talked about. Now, what are those kinds of stress? It can be financial difficulty. It can be a promotion which is leading to more responsibilities, right? It can be a transition of life. Maybe you're changing the city, or maybe you're getting married. So, the way you perceive stress, it can be distressful for you, it can be not distressful for you, which comes to the eustress. The eustress means, doesn't mean the challenges are gone, the challenges are still there, but it gives you the good kind of effect. So, for example, for someone, a promotion can be stressful, but for someone, a promotion can not also be stressful. For someone, a financial difficulty perception, the way they're perceiving their financial difficulty, can be stressful. But for someone, they can perceive that it's yes, it's going to be stressful, but if I can plan it properly, if I can take care of some resources, talk to the experts, and properly execute, then it turns into eustress. For someone, a roller coaster ride is very scary. But for some people, roller coaster ride is a very fun thing. So it means what is your perception? What is your environment telling you? And how have you learned what is stress for you? See, at the end of the day, stress exists to make you understand there is danger, there is a demand, there is a threat. You need to take care of yourself. And in that situation, you can take your time and perceive. So if you can see the slide in front of you, if you are seeing a threat which is negative for you, you're perceiving it in that manner. So, see how you will become stressed emotionally, physically, you will feel that stress as well. You will get very stressful thoughts, and your behavior will also automatically turn into something which is stressful. Your hands will tremble, or you will maybe procrastinate, or maybe you will isolate yourself, or maybe you will use non healthy coping mechanisms to cope with the stress. Same with the emotion, like we talked about. Stress in the long run can lead to a lot of fear, which is uncontrollable fear and anxiety. So, hence, you would like to avoid it, which we call as avoidance behavior. You don't want to deal with it at all. And it becomes a never ending loop and cycle, which is known as sometimes social anxiety, because you're perceiving that to be stressful. I'm sure as teachers, we have had faced that social anxiety or feeling that imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough. So if you perceive it in that manner, that socializing is challenging and negative for you, your emotion becomes anxious, your productivity becomes procrastination. I'm not going to socialize. I'm not going to try to expose myself. And hence your performance deteriorates, it reduces. So see how it's interconnected. So what we need to do is take care of your perception. So if you now go to slowly towards the use stress slide, if you can see this challenge, when this challenge is presented to you, automatically maybe it's negative, but then you sit for some time and see how can I make it positive, or can it be positive for me? Your emotion from the initial fear will turn into excitement. Your behavior, which might be procrastination or avoiding, can initially be turned slowly into motivation. Let's try to do our very best. Let's see what can be done. And of course, then your performance, very slowly, which you thought will not be there at all, your productivity, which you thought will be zero, will slowly turn into enhancement, because you'll be thinking, I am motivated, I don't have fear. So, how can I help my behavior to be more positive and more helpful? So the next time when you're feeling stress or you think this is a threat or a challenge, maybe take care of your perception, take care of your emotion accordingly, and then you can definitely change your behavior. So that was a myth buster. Not all stress is bad. All right. So yes, so actually now we can go to the next slide. So we will be now talking about work-life balance and stress management. Now, work-life balance and stress management go hand in hand, because if you can manage your stress well, you have a work-life balance. If you can manage your work-life balance well, then you can take care of your stress. All right. But before that, remember, however you try to balance your life, you need to firstly track your symptoms, like we talked about. And number two, you need to take care of your perception, because at the end of the day, stress is what you perceive. All right. Thank you, Sakshi. I'll go slowly one by one so that it makes very much clear for you. All right. Is there something wrong with the slideshow?
Is it visible now?
Yes. Thank you so much, Sakshi. Yeah. All right. So there are a lot of mechanisms out there, but I have pointed out the ones which scientifically has worked for our clients and also for the organizations that we have worked for. So we're going to start with organizing your daily list. Now, we put a lot of organization in our mind because we believe our brain is the super powerhouse, right? It has no limit. But please remember, your brain is an organ, and at the end of the day, just like any part of the body, it has its limitations. It gets exhausted. And more than me, I think you would understand, as a teacher, as an educator, as an administrator, or as a student, we cannot put all the demands on our brain. So even if it's a small task, even if you think you can remember it, I would urge you to start practicing writing down your daily lists, which is known as to-do list. Now there are many to-do lists, but you can make it digitally if you're a very, very pro to digital devices. Some people like traditionally physically writing it down, whichever you prefer, please go for that. But try to take away that pressure from your brain, that normal tasks which you rely on your brain, and try to divide it in two ways. So we have some assignments which we need to do immediately. If we don't do it, the more we delay, the stress becomes bigger and it becomes anxiety provoking. So those are known as critical dates. Absolute, as soon as possible, I have to do. You can organize it in that manner, that these are absolute to do list. The second kind is, it is important, but I can do it later. So when you try to do this discrimination, your brain also understands that it's okay. These are the tasks I need to do. These are the tasks I don't need to do. I can relax. I don't need to be pressurized, because pressure is at the end of the day, brain thinking, I need to complete everything perfectly. So that's the number one suggestion for you. Try to have an organized daily list, to do list, digitally or physically, and try to make them into very important and absolutely due date, very critical, or not so important and can be done later on. All right. And this is something you can teach your students also. Students at the end of the day are small seeds which are taking the nourishment from you. And if you do it, the students learn from you that, okay, here's my mentor, and they take the strength from you. Number two, breathing and physical exercises. And I know this must be said and done everywhere since pandemic, but please remember these are very important. As I told you that the brain is just an organ, it also breathes. It also needs nourishment. So you're not breathing just for your physical body, you're breathing for your brain as well. It takes so much information every day. So if you don't breathe, how will your brain breathe? How will the information get inside? You don't have to do a lot of meditation. There's a lot of motivational podcast out there. I'm sure of it. But simple, just breathing in, breathing out, contraction, relaxation of muscles. You don't have to go to the gym. You can do walking, you can do skipping, you can do simple yoga poses, whichever you want to do, whichever is helpful for you. Because if you take a physical task into an assignment, then it will not work. It has to be relaxing, enjoyable, and it will help you feel good about it. So try to have a consistent breathing, a physical exercise, and if you are not getting the time, when you're sitting in that school, that building, you can do it at that time also. Just before you start the class, quickly close your eyes, do a little bit of breathing. Or just before you enter the class, be very mindful to how you're walking. Our steps become very nervous, very, very sharp because we know we have work to do. So try to do it in more relaxing manner. And you don't need to do any other different physical activity. The work that you're doing, that can be your workout yourself. Next, we come to sleep and food. And no, I do not mean this for physical fitness. I mean this for mental fitness. As mentioned, the brain also needs nourishment. So, if you have noticed yourself skipping a meal that day, you will be more lethargic. You will be feeling more drowsy and sleepy. And maybe your mood can also be cranky. So, sleep and food, just like for any child, for a teacher, for an educator, is also very important. So, do not miss out on those power naps that you can take, or do not skip your meals. Just takes 10 minutes. 10 minutes for your nourishment, right? Next is laugh and humor. And I think this is one of the most interesting concept that we have recently thought about. So there's a lot of laughing clubs out there, right? And the teacher also told me, who was my client, that ma'am, I do look into viral videos which are very laughable, very, very funny. But randomly looking into laughing sources of videos is not helpful. You have to get out that 5-10 minutes where you're consciously looking at those funny sources, be it story, be it videos, be it just sharing, stories with other people or watching it online. So scientific studies mention just 10 minutes of humor and laugh, where you're consciously putting that effort. It helps your mood upliftment and your stress hormones, which get, reflected in your body, they get ejected out of your body because laughter is the best medicine for stress. Or you can encourage your students with themselves also. Maybe something funny happened, right? And as a teacher, we get very frustrated. Why is this, disruption happening? Laugh with them. Encourage them also to laugh with you. So not only will you become a supporter for them, a friend also, and you will be having your quick endorphin or dopamine, neurotransmitter levels helping you to relax. Next, we talk about work-life balance. Now, this is a controversial topic. Many teachers have told me there is no work-life balance. Unfortunately, due to pandemic, lot more duties have increased, and I completely empathize. I empathize as a human being. So, what you can do is basically two, three things that you can help in a work-life balance. Tasks will never end, but maybe there are certain days you can go a little bit earlier to the classroom rather than staying late. Earlier to the classroom, earlier to your place where designated, and take care of the tasks. And rather than working late every day, you can designate once a week or twice a week, just working a little bit more. Procrastination or this need for overworking happens when we make it a mental concept that I have to work late every day, that I have tasks every day which need to be completed very late. But you can balance it by sometimes going earlier, as mentioned, and once or twice maybe working a little bit later. All right. What else can you do? You can also, as mentioned, try to have a designated yourself time for yourself. Now, I know you might say the day is already so hectic, the day is heavy. When can I find my self time? But as I quickly told you, with the 10 minutes of video for yourself or story sharing, please try to find that 10 minutes of self time. Because when you give absolutely all that, that level of dedication to yourself, you're not only teaching yourself that you are a very important and valuable human being, you'll be able to help your students to also learn. You can give self care, self time. Whoever are getting stressed by saying, ma'am, so many assessments, sirs, too many materials. This self time helps in de stressing a lot, and I cannot emphasize how important this is. Just 10 to 15 minutes whenever you have, every single day. Next, we talk about accepting pressure. And this is unfortunately the very truth that we need to accept. Pressure will be there no matter what age, no matter what profession. Pressure will be there. External pressure, that means the pressure which is outside of our body, we might not have a control. But you have one control, how you take care of that pressure. Are you ready to accept it? Are you ready to do some modification about it? And that's your internal control. So, yes, let's try accepting pressure will be there, and let's focus on what is in our control. Let's try to do that. What's not in our control, let's try to modify it or let it go. Because most of the times, our anxiety, depression comes when we want to control what is not in our control, the uncertainty of it. Most important, we are all humans, we are here to make mistakes. Not any one of us has gone throughout our lifetime journey without making a mistake. It's not just children, as adults. The more you can be forgiving, having self compassion, the more you'll be not stressed. It's okay if you did not do an assessment that well. It's okay if you did not complete that portion of syllabus on time. It's okay if a student said, you're not a good teacher. Maybe it's their frustration. Maybe it's not about you. The more you can have self compassion, self empathy, self love, the more this concept of stress reduces into small thing in your fingertips. You teach your children, right? Love yourself, be caring. But at the end of the day, are you teaching self love for yourself? Because inside of us, there's always a child, always learning, always yearning for forgiveness. And we are here for external validation, right? I want to be known I'm a good educator, a teacher. But sometimes you compliment yourself. It was a bad day, it was a hard day, but I still managed to go through it. Good job. It's okay. So try to incorporate self forgiveness, self love every day whenever you can. Administration support is something which thankfully now schools, colleges are listening to it, where they're recognizing that if we keep on giving negative criticism, very harsh judgment to the teachers, you're getting them more stressed. So what we, the Good Lives also we are trying are employee assistance programs, where we're trying to include an environment of space, safe space, giving proper constructive criticism, not harsh criticism, and giving positive feedback, and making teachers or the employees have their own therapy sessions or employee assistance programs as mentioned, or they save space. And this is something which is need of the hour, where we need to implement these services so that teachers also feel that their backs are being taken care. All right. And with that, we come to the last point that was there on the PPT, which is seek the help, ask for the help. We are not a machine, we are not God. And at the end of the day, we always think, I can take care of it. It's within my fingertips, it's within my control. But this delay of your help can lead to more serious impact of it. You ask your students, right? Whenever you're stuck somewhere, please seek the help. The same way we'll ask you, please seek therapy. Now, therapy is not just to talk about it. As mentioned, everyone has individual differences. What gets you stressed might not be stressful for me. What helps you in stress might not help me. So, hence, it's very important that you go to a therapist to understand your individual, how you function, what helps you. So, we talk about you go for therapy or therapies for mad people. Please understand your stress levels can be taken care just with few sessions with a trusted person, because not every time we can share our problems with everyone. And if you're still doubtful about it, what you can at least start doing is reflecting on your emotions and thoughts. If you're not ready for therapy, what you can start from today is reflect on this workshop. reflect on what we talked about, reflect on the signs and symptoms, see if there's been consistency, has there been relapse, and see if your behavior has changed or are you the same version. The questions, when you reflect in this manner, can really help you understanding what more can we do. And of course, the assessment was also there. If the assessment came to medium to high, that means, of course, you already have a warning sign that you should take care of yourself. All right. So, yes, that was our work life balance. Actually, I think we can go to the next slide. Okay, I know I've given a lot of suggestions. So, let's try to now relax a little bit. As I was telling you about breathing, relaxation exercise, I'm going to demonstrate with you. I hope all of you will join me. Let's do this relaxation exercise together. Okay. This will be just for 1 or 2 minutes. Unfortunately, I think the music will not be working. But remember, music is in our body, is in our mind. Everywhere that you hear, there is music. So, what I would like all of you to do is do an exercise with me. Are you all okay with that? I hope. All right. So, yes, all you have to do before we start is just check your body posture once. Our body takes up more stress than you think because we're always sitting still, right? We're always taking in the stress. So, try to relax your body posture just like I am. All right. You don't have to turn into a very saint version of sitting. Don't worry. Sit normally, whichever relaxes you. All right. Number two, whenever I tell you, just slowly close your eyes. That's instruction number two. Instruction number three is try to slowly inhale at the count of five. Okay. Try to hold for 2 seconds of that breath and then slowly exhale at the count of 5 seconds. Okay. So 5 seconds, we are slowly inhaling, 2 seconds we're holding, 5 seconds we're letting go. Now you might ask me, why is this weird count? Why can't we just inhale or exhale? The important part is our brain understands slowly letting go and letting in. It's called the beauty of slowness. So the way you can count, it increases your attention, it increases your focus, and it helps your body to also know how to relax and when. So that's why whatever helps you, you can turn 5 to 6 seconds if your breathing capacity is higher. If your breathing capacity is lower, you can do 3 seconds. But just inhale, hold, exhale. Okay? Are we ready? I hope so. All right. Is it working, Sakshi, the music?
Are you able
No. It's okay.
to move forward?
It's coming, going, I think. Just give me a heads up if you guys can hear. I know it's a little bit disrupted, so please bear with us. You don't have to only focus on the music, you can focus on your breathing also. So, all of us, let's do this together, okay? Slowly close your eyes. Try to focus on your breathing. And slowly, at the count of five, or whatever is your comfort, slowly inhale, hold for 2 seconds, and slowly exhale. Let's repeat. Let's inhale together, hold, and slowly exhale. Just focus on your breath and try to be mindful how the breath goes in and how the breath is slowly leaving your body. You don't have to be anywhere but just here with your breathing. Body contract and slowly relax. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. can do this as long as you want to continue. And remember, this is your safe space. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. I know the music was a little bit distorted. I'm extremely apologetic for that. But yes, that's all you need to do. If you want music, try to keep instrumental music, something which is relaxing for you. And as mentioned, inhale, exhale, and hold to the limit you are comfortable. Scientifically, it's known as 5 to 5 is most convenient. But as mentioned, whoever has a greater capacity, go higher. Whoever has lower capacity, go lower. All right. And make your body posture comfortable. You don't need any meditation gurus for that. You can do it all by yourself, however you're comfortable. All right. And yes, this you can do while you're sitting in your staff room or in the classroom quickly. You can just close your eyes and do so. Or when you're commuting, or when you're back home and you don't feel like doing anything, or before you go to sleep. The only difference is lie down when you're trying to go to sleep because then it helps the body to understand it's time for sleeping. But if you want to do it when you're active, you sit and then you do it. All right. So that was a breathing relaxation exercise. So yes, I think we have come an end to the workshop. So I we received certain questions, and out of the questions, there was one question which repeatedly came. So I quickly want to explain why good lives. Good lives is because we are mapping people with the right therapist. Now, unfortunately, when we go to a doctor, we don't have much control. We just see the designation, the years of experience. But therapy is different. Maybe you might have a set of criteria which you would be comfortable. So we map you with the right person with your right comfort. Number two, we believe in scientific education. Wikipedia nowadays can be edited. I don't know whether you knew this, but yes, Wikipedia can be nowadays edited. So our right to scientific information is very low. So we give the scientifically improved statistics and this test that you took, whoever took in the beginning, there are various more tests on the site. All right. It's a free and quick sign up. You can do stress assessment, anxiety assessment, depression. If you feel you're not having work life balance, you have various tests to empower yourself. And of course, there's a lot more articles and fun ways to empower about mental health. Who said mental health has to be a very serious discussion, right? Most important, therapy is not just talk therapy. I know we talked about a lot of ways to express our emotions, but there are people who are not comfortable sharing their emotions and thoughts. And for them, there is music therapy. All right. And there is also, in a way, expressive art therapy. So, where we do not use words, where we use our actions, our non-verbal gestures to help the stress to be out. Most importantly, India is all about log kya kahege, and we are very, very scared about judgment. We are scared to go physically to a clinic. And of course, with your hectic schedules, you might not have the time to go for a session, right? But with Good Lives, we are 24/7 available. You be in your room where you wear your comfortable clothes. It doesn't matter how you look, and you have your beverage of comfort, and you can come for your session with your therapist. All right. So yes, that was our workshop. We have certain more Q&As. I will take those over. And if you have any other question, if time permits, definitely we will take those as well. So while I'll answer this Q&A, you can let us know whatever your questions are in the chat box. All right. Are we good to go?
Yes.
Actually, we should.
Yes, Pooja, please answer the questions we received earlier.
Yes. So, lot of questions and really good questions. They were mostly very repetitive, so I've clubbed them together, and I really hope these answered your doubts. If not, of course, do let us know. We'll give you more context. Okay. So, the first question that we received, and again in a repetitive manner, was: does meditation help, and what kind of diet helps in our mental health and stress? So, as mentioned, yes, meditation does help, but more than meditation, what you can do is, as we just practiced, deep breathing, right? Where you don't need a lot of materials, you just need to have a comfortable space, comfortable clothes, all right? And you need a good posture, whichever is relaxing for you, and you can breathe in and breathe out like we practiced. And in Good Lives page also, we have various podcasts where if you do sign up, you can have various of them in your fingertips. So yes, more than meditation, maybe you can focus on deep breathing. Positive affirmations are also there, which are known as positive self statements. Like, for example, I'm capable, I'm good enough, I'm a human being, I can forgive myself. You can use those as well while you're breathing in and breathing out. But please remember one thing, there's a lot of motivational podcasts out there. Please don't try to follow them because they're more about toxic positivity. Mental health will be not okay all the time, but if you're forcing yourself to be positive, I have to be good, I have to be strong, then what is happening, you're pressurizing your brain to be toxically positive. So please try to be mindful not to listen to motivational podcasts which talk about toxic positivity. All right, this was one. Number two, someone also talked about how long should be the period limit for teaching or for a classroom as well for students. Now, scientifically, results mention that till class 8, if we can talk about it, since it's still a younger age, you can focus about, unfortunately, this is the scientific results telling me, which is 30 to 35 minutes. And for upper class, you're going to 40 to 45 minutes. Now, the difference is because of the age, the learning skills, we need to be mindful that they're a little bit different. And in this 45 minutes also, 5 minutes should be about processing the information, giving a breather. So 45 minutes shouldn't be just cramming, cramming, cramming. And this is also a common complaint we get from teachers, that why aren't students listening to me? There was another question, that why are students getting so much distracted? Why so much noise? So if you can designate the 5 minute starting of the class or end of the class or beginning of the class, where you all of us doing a breathing exercise together, or where you're just taking a space, just like in early school ages we used to do, right? Just close your eyes, take a nap maybe. Please remember that all students of each age and grade would love that. So if you can implement that way, you're teaching them a coping mechanism, not only for their benefit but for your benefit. And you're teaching them that it's not all about studies, we're here for mental health also, we're here as a supportive group, right? Next, the question was about, should teachers be given excess duties, and should there be more duties rather than teaching? Unfortunately, our teachers are known as all rounder. All right, they are known as, you have to be a teacher, you have to be a mother, a father, their friend, right? You have to know their physical health also, you have to know everything about them. And that is not possible. That is absolutely not possible. So, when we talk about excess duties, it's very important to understand how much capacity you have. We do keep on saying yes, but you need to understand what capacity you're in. There will be days when you're not doing well. So you should not feel the pressure of outperforming yourself. And there'll be days when you're feeling good, then you can definitely go ahead. But yes, be mindful that you are a human being, and this is why we're having special educators, we're having school counselors, we're having college counselors as well, so that this pressure can be taken away. And I hope this is being implemented properly, and you can definitely educate the students and the parents when the parents teacher meeting come, that of course there are other services we can collectively do, rather than putting all the pressure in oneself. All right. And at the end of the day, if a parent doesn't understand, I told you, use self compassion, use your self love, and remind yourself they have a right to say, because they're a parent. They're very scared, but you know the limitations, you know what you have to do. So try to be mindful about it and try to let it be with your breathing and with your self activity. All right. Another question that we had, which was very interesting and which we also get to know, that there are certain parents who don't keep any tabs on their children, but in the parents teacher meeting, they say, my child has not improved. What is happening? And I empathize. It can be very, very frustrating. So, just like I mentioned, parents, they are not only humans, but now most parents are having, a lot of work hold activities and household activities as well. So, it's very easy to say, it's your responsibility. I see no improvement. I want you to recognize these parents are also frustrated with their own limitations. So, this is not exactly a complaint for you. This is the complaint they're feeling about themselves also, and they have nowhere to give it. So, they give it over here. So, try to be mindful about this, like we talked about. This external, we don't have in our control. What we have in our control? Responding, saying, yes, I understand, I empathize, I can imagine it's not easy for you. All right. And what you can do is help in pointing out the positive qualities of a child. All right. Because a child is not only about studies. They can be a good listener. They can be a good, person for their friend, someone who helps you in reminding teacher you have these responsibilities or these materials to be brought. So once you can pinpoint the good qualities of them as a human being, that's when the parent can relax that, okay, all right, not only about studies, but okay, my child is a good human being also. And then you can slowly also give a little bit constructive criticism that, how pandemic has it been, so take it easy, we are giving materials and resources, have a little bit faith in your child, just like the faith I'm giving to them. So when you are very mindful about your words, having a little bit of nice non-verbal gestures, proper eye contact and smile and relaxing body posture, that helps in the parents also to relax because it's a transfer of energy. All right. So try to be mindful. And hence I wanted to take a little bit time to talk about this context because all parents talk about it. It's just a projection of their frustration. Just be mindful about it. Okay. I think someone also talked about noise. So there are two kinds of noise. So I wasn't sure which noise you're talking about. So I'll give the answer for both the kinds of noise. If you feel there is a noise coming because maybe the construction of the school or the building is beside somewhere where there's a construction site going on or there's a factory or something, so you can talk about it with the administrators and which is already being implemented in India. Sound reducing panels, windows, ways to block the door. That's one. But if you're talking about noise in the classroom, this is what we were talking about, that in a 40 to 45-minute class duration or 30 to 35, understanding the age of the child, try implementing this 5 to 10-minute safe space activity where you tell the students, come, have a breathing activity with me. You're feeling restless. I completely understand. I'm also feeling restless. Let's try to have a breather together. All right. Or maybe 2, 3 minutes of sharing some funny resources or a joke. So when you try to implement very nice, funny, but meaningful activities, the distractions, the noise automatically gets reduced over the period of time. And most importantly, this is a technique which really helps, and I tell my teachers to use it, which is, how would you feel if you're talking and someone interrupts you? How would you feel if while you are trying to express yourself, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of interruption? That makes them start thinking, okay, I would get irritated. That means my teacher would also get irritated. So, small, simple ways you can absolutely help your student to start respecting you as a human being. And as I told you, the way you model your behavior, the way they can also model their behavior. And in that manner, you can reduce the stress. All right. Let me just check if there's any other questions that were there.
Pooja, there are a couple of questions in the chat box.
Can we take them then? That because I think we are done with these. Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. So I think one of the questions that we got is which time is best suited for breathing exercises?
Sakshi, I'm so sorry your voice broke. Could you repeat?
Yeah. Which time is best suited for breathing exercises?
Absolutely. So, as mentioned, it can be the beginning because normally students come really excited for their classroom, right? So, you can start with that breather only that, hey, before we go into our materials, let's try to take a breather. If you're finding your classroom very quiet, and then good, you don't need to do it then. You can do it in the middle of the session as mentioned. So this depends on your students and their temperament actually. If it's very noisy and restlessness in the beginning, do it then. If you find their distraction starting in the middle, because our attention span is, let's face it, not for 40, 45 minutes, then you can do it in the between also, or you can use it as an ending note, because towards the end of the lesson, that's when students become more restless. So this depends on the situation and the environment of the classroom. I hope that helps you.
Problem with your mic. Puja, the question is there anything for children as well as stress management?
Absolutely, absolutely. So the techniques that we talked about, this is how you can help your students also, the children also, which is, hey, are you having academic life balance? Because students also complain, right? You have given me so much of homework, I'm going home, I'm still doing it. So this is when you can teach them also that we can have academic life balance. That's a stress management. Number two, let's face it, students in their early age have a lot of junk food. All right, they're going for chocolates, they're going for food which is actually causing their brain to be either more hyperactive or more lazy. So that's why I mentioned that when you talk about your habits as well, you can help the children also to understand, okay, my teacher is doing it, so I'm not alone in this. You have a safe space to do. What did you have for lunch? What did you have for breakfast? I also had this. Maybe you can try this. You're teaching them habits, very, very mindful habits. And a breathing exercise as mentioned. Tell them, hey, you don't need to go to gym. Walk with me in the corridor. Come with me. Go outside. So very, very small ways, whichever techniques we talked about, like digitally, now all, all the students want digital devices to take care of their daily tasks. Tell them to do so. Teach them that this is how I do. This is my to-do list. Will this help you? You can try. If it doesn't help you, you can tell me tomorrow. So let's start talking to the students as they're human beings. When you start talking to them as human beings and tell them what helps you, they will start understanding we can also take care of our stress. And most importantly, tell them if you're extremely stressed and I'm not able to help you, there is something called therapy also. Please start introducing to your children therapy. There are child psychologists, there are school educators, right? School counselors, because we might not have all the skills. You might not have the school skills, and that's okay because you're a teacher. You're not a psychologist. And this you can help the parents to also understand. I hope that helps.
Well, the next question is Kavita want to know, well, do you have counseling sessions for students as well
Yes,
on
we do.
mental health?
Absolutely, absolutely. As mentioned, that mental health has no age. It starts from the womb of your mother. As soon as a child is being born, it starts from there. Okay, so absolutely, no worries.
All right. Sakshi, you can also share about the wellness program and program that you have for schools that you have recently created that program. So the next question is, it is about does meditation help in gaining memory power back, especially for teenagers? Sorry, that was a different question. So it's just for does meditation help in gaining power back?
Yes, absolutely. As mentioned, more than meditation, as mentioned, see, meditation is all about taking care of your breathing, being mindful, to be present in the moment. Because stress means going away from the present moment. Anxiety means going away from the present moment. So when you are breathing in and out, you're teaching your mind to be very focused and to be present, which means you're increasing your attention, you're increasing your focus, you're increasing your tolerance, and you're teaching yourself sound will be here. We live in India, unfortunately. I'm sure you got some sound while I was doing the session. So, yes, it helps you to be mindful, to be in the present. Really, really helpful scientifically as well. So, yeah.
So we have a lot of appreciation, and we have, I think it's a question, but not a question, but a concern that children are very productive, concentration level and concentration span is very less. What would you
Yeah.
say to that, Ms. Hajar?
Absolutely. This is something I want to mention with two things. So, a lot of clients we have found, whoever have come, that they have started having ADHD symptoms, which is attention deficiency. And this can be also because of the pandemic, as mentioned. Indoors, they have indulged in so much of social media scrolling. It has led to a lot of deficiency of attention. So, it's not very easy because they were in the comfort of their home. So, if you feel that there are some students, then it's easier to identify them, but I will really request that assessments are done, and this is where you take the help of the school counselors also, right? Because if it's ADHD, it needs a proper assessment, diagnosis, and treatment. That's one. But in general, if you find, as mentioned, distraction happening, try to implement mindful activities like we talked about, like breathing, taking some time out, having a little bit of discussion. As mentioned, suppose they are laughing and trying to disrupt the classroom, join with them. Join with them and say that it's your safe space, we can do it as well. Sometimes disruption is also because they are not interested. It's not just because of attention span of anything else, because there are some genius students as well. They feel the material is very boring. Why should I indulge in it? Or some students who don't feel very clever also. So understand the population and please take the help of assessment special educators. Yeah. And mindful activities.
Okay, thank you. So there is another question. Can we register for the on the website for personal counseling for teenagers?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can. You can. And all teachers are also welcome. So yes.
That's amazing. So these were all the questions, and we have two people raising hands. So I will just unmute you, and you can just speak if you have a question or if you have a situation that you want to talk.
Am I audible, sir? Yeah. First of all, good evening, everybody. One thing just I would like to ask to ma'am, like when we were in the classroom and started breathing and all, could you suggest me how much number of timings we and students can breathe together in 45 minutes class?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, the question was that how much time should be given to the students to breathe together. Was that the question, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So as mentioned, it's as simple as 5 minutes. You just need to do 5 minutes. See, initially there'll be a lot of resistance. So don't try to do 5 minutes. Start with 2 minutes, just like I practiced with you. Because they would be like, what is this? So start with 2 minutes, then go with three, four, five. Because then it'll become a habit also. So I hope that helps you.
Thank you so much for this. One thing also I would like to ask to Sayed sir. Sir, we have done that NCF1 workshop, and still did not get that certificate. Could you send as soon as possible? It is just for short.
So I was not able to hear you. Your voice was breaking. So were you talking about the certificate, by the way?
Yeah. Sayed sir, just NCF1, which we have done earlier.
Yes. So about that, actually, we got so many registrations, and we have to send certificates to 700 people now. So and we couldn't send more than 100 every day because of the automation that we use. So we have sent for to about 550 people, and we are sending 100 every day. So either by tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you will get it, and we will send it from our Gmail address, that is edjobster@gmail.com. And in case you don't get it, you can write to me. You will receive it my email after this session. Also, you can write to me if you don't receive it by Saturday. You please write to me. We have sent it to almost everyone. Just 200 people are left. We will send it to you. And I'm so sorry for the delay. But and thank you so much, all of you, to attend that session. That was a success, and I really appreciate that. But I'm so sorry for that. I'll definitely send it to you by day after tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mr. Ashish.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. So, Ms. Uma, I think you would like to talk. So I'll allow you to talk.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I'm handling pre-nursery class. Ma'am, while telling the story, they will keep on talking, ma'am. How to grab their attention? Like you said, the breathing exercise. Is it for them also? They are very tiny kids, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, I'll be
Okay.
very honest. If you can start teaching them from an early age, but you have to make it more interesting, which is
Okay.
like they're talking, then like you have to mention, hey, today we're gonna do something very fun and exciting, something very new. Are you excited? Are you ready? So you will be taking their consent, and they will either say yes or no, and then try to be in the middle. Try not to be in the front, try to be in the middle so that it's like a circle. You're doing a circle of safe space. And then you'll go in the middle, and then you first say, okay, take your hands. See, where is your heart? You put it. Can you feel your heart beating? Can you feel your breathing? Do you notice how you breathe? So when you make the instruction more simpler, more fun, they start listening. And as I mentioned, start with 2 minutes. 2 minutes, like see how your chest will slowly goes up like a balloon, then slowly goes down like a balloon, deflates. If you make it fun like them, or you can put templates also, that'll be really, really fun for them because early age, if you teach them, it's going to be very helpful for them in older age also. So, yes, absolutely.
And we have a question over here. In the meantime, you can answer that, Mr. Pooja. So the question is, we are in the end of the year. Children who are writing neatly, their handwriting is gone bad. How can we improve that?
Yes, and that is also because a lot of the mentioned in pandemic when they have been home, they did not need to use their physical writing, and that is one scenario definitely. So you can again make it interesting. You don't need to buy handwriting books anymore. What you can do is mindful writing. Mindful writing is also a concept that is scientifically used, where we teach our students and ourselves. Let's try to write. Suppose there's a sentence that the cat meets the owner for the first time. I'm just putting a very random sentence. So with mindful writing, what we're teaching the students or the children is let's write it very, very slowly together. And you have to do this activity with them. You cannot do this as a assignment to them where you take a sentence and you teach them very slowly, write one syllable at a time, one word at a time, one alphabet at a time, and you focus on your breathing and you focus like you're doing one turn up, that means breathing in. You're turning it down, curve, that means you're breathing out. So mindful writing really helps them not only to not feel stressed at the time because they're feeling stressed to write, to take the notes, to even follow up in the classroom. So mindful writing can be implemented for any grade and any age. So I hope that helps you.
If you have any questions for Ms. Pooja, you can write to us. You will receive an email from us after this session. You can give your feedback, you can give your questions. We will get your all your answers from Ms. Pooja about that. Okay, so let's go ahead. So there are two, three things that we are going to do now. First of all, I would like to thank Good Lights, Ms. Pooja and Ms. Sakshi for taking this initiative with Edjobster to take a live session on stress management and mental health of teachers. And I hope that it was very useful for you. If it was very useful for you, I want you to write in the comment that yes, it was useful. Uh, Please write in the comment that yes, it was useful for you. Just like write yes, 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 yes. Just fill the comment box with yes. Let's let's appreciate Ms. Pooja for taking this session. If you think that it was useful, if you think that it was helpful, yes, yes, it was very useful session. Thank you so much, Carol. Yes, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Wonderful session. Thank you so much. So, first of all, I do it in the beginning of the session, but I missed it, so I will do it now. So, I want to know who is here with us. So, we are doing this poll. We have started this poll. Please click the one you are: teacher, principal, coordinator, director, administrator, or other. So, we have 75 people online right now, and I want 75 people to vote. So about 77% are teachers, or 34 are teachers and coordinators, directors, and everybody is here. And I'm really grateful that you all did this. You all joined this session, and I hope that you even liked it. So the purpose of all this, there is nothing to sell or anything. We just want you to be motivated. We are just doing it to give back to the community of teachers, because whether it's Sakshi, Pooja, me, or any one of you, there is a teacher in your life who changed your life, who said something to you or who did something, and that affected your life in a way that you started to take things seriously, or you take a life decision. So that is why we are doing these sessions. So to go ahead, first of all, I would like to tell you that there is a giveaway from Good Lives. And Sakshi, I would request you if you can tell the audience about that giveaway, what we have for all the attendees over here.
Absolutely, Hamid. Thank you everybody for staying up for entire session. I am really, really grateful to you that in spite of you being teachers, you are open to learning new concepts about stress management and improving your life, not only yours, but you're so worried about your students as well. So I really, really appreciate that. And hence we have a special giveaway with Hamid, organizing everything from Edjobster. We would like to offer you all a free therapy session. First 5 recipients on, we will drop a WhatsApp link that what you can WhatsApp us, and if you WhatsApp us in a specific format, the first 5 recipients get a first session free, right? Second giveaway from our end is that our employee wellness program for teachers, for students starts as low as 299 per month per member. So if you go out for a therapy session, it is roughly $1,000 for one session. We are ready to support not only you but also the students with just 299 per member per session. So Hamid will drop a WhatsApp message format which you can edit and send us to on Good Lives WhatsApp number, and we will take it from there. So we are more than happy to have you get that therapy session for absolutely free.
I have already messaged in the WhatsApp group and the chat link, the chat link. So you can click on that chat link, copy the message, fill your details, names, and all. And the first 5 people will get this free therapy session from Good Lives. And thank you so much, Sakshi, for this giveaway. I hope it will be useful for a lot of teachers out here. And see, this Good Life is a platform which is for all. So if you have any problem related to mental health or anything, so you can definitely reach out to them. This is for you. All right. So let's go ahead and so what's there from Edjobster to you today? So every time we have a workshop, we have something for you. That is usually the next workshop. But to tell you about it and to give you the early access to that, I would like to know, I have a poll here as well. I would like to know from you, there is a question. Who is the brand ambassador of a school? How is school looked at by whom? Whether student, teacher, parent, principal, or anybody else. Who is the brand ambassador? Is it student, teacher, parent, principal? Because see, the brand ambassador drives admission, drives growth. So who is the brand ambassador? Results are also there. I forgot to add that results should be there, but then that's for promotion. So students, amazing. So I think you all should participate. It's not that very hard question. You all can participate. Amazing. Getting more answers over students. Are you not confident in yours? Don't you have confidence in yourself that you can be an ambassador? Amazing. So here's the result. Mostly voted that students are the brand ambassador of the school. Teachers are also parents, one parent, and also principals. So let me tell you one very important thing. The biggest brand ambassador in a school is a teacher, because you are the person who's interacting with the parents. You are the person who is known that you work in that school and you drive admissions. Even if it's word of mouth, your word of mouth drives the admissions as well. So the next workshop that we have for you is on personal branding. And why personal branding is important for teachers? Because you see, the next thing in any industry is about personal branding. If you have a personal brand, even in career, in your career growth, right nowadays, if you send your resume to any school principal, and if they will see like you have added the Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook link of your profile, so they will click on it, they will see how your profile is, and that will show your personality. Nowadays, yes, qualification is important, but schools are mostly hiring for after the personality of the teacher. So you will have to build a personal brand, and it is not like you have to do a lot of things to build a personal brand, but it is very simple thing that we are going to do in this workshop, and it is scheduled for next Thursday. And Mr. Jay Bhagri, who works extensively on marketing for schools and for personal branding of teachers, he is going to take this workshop, which is going to be very useful for all the teachers. And it is going to drive you growth. It is going to help you succeed in your career for sure. So we are going to share the link for this workshop, which is there. So you can all you can all register for it, because we are going to get heavy traffic for this. That's for sure. I know we are going to get heavy traffic for this, and we don't want anybody to miss for this workshop. So I'm sharing the link with you all over here. We will also share it in the WhatsApp group and send you a post of it as well. I just sent you it over here. You can click on it, you can go there, you can register, so you don't miss this session. And because see, let me just give you a brief example how this works, because just a brief question, a quick question from you all. Just tell me simple yes or no. How many of you think that you will not leave your current organization as a teacher, that you are going to work until your retirement in this organization? Just tell me yes if you think that you are going to work in your organization until your retirement, or no if you are not. To see if there is any yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So you are going to work until the retirement. That's really good for the organization. But do you see growth over there? Because we all know the fact, until the principal position is not, until the principal retires, there is no position for principal over there. So there is only one post for leadership, or if you want to work for just at the same level, or if you don't want growth, right? So to just for example, like if you have joined a new organization and you work with them and you have good following, you have good network, and you every teacher who has an influence gets at least 10 admissions to the school, that quality admissions, because the parents, the or the people they meet outside are looking at the quality of teaching that teacher is making and where that teacher is working. So they want that thing to happen. And you must know that there are some students who just love you. They are only studying in that school because of you, because they want to learn from you. So that is one thing. And now, if just in case, if you are leaving and you have an influence, and you go to the principal or the director that I'm leaving. So if you have an influence and if you are a very good teacher, and they won't let you leave, they will pull every string to retain you. But if you are not that good teacher, they will say, okay, fine, you can go. But if you want to be that teacher who who the school don't want to don't want to lose, you need to have a personal brand. Because if you are say that I want to leave and you have a 25,000 following, they are going to do anything to make you stay, because your brand, your personal brand, because of you, they have a reputation in the market, they have a reputation in the town, and they are able to drive admissions and even retain students, because nowadays even students switch schools, and you will have an upper hand in the organization, that you are responsible for a lot of things, and that will even drive growth for you, and it's even easier for you to get new jobs, get higher pay scales, and even grow your career. So that's why we have this workshop. I'm sharing the link once again for you to register for this workshop, so we can help you help you with personal branding. We can give you the tools. We can tell you how you can do the personal branding. It's a very simple thing, and you just have to be consistent with it. And it's very easy for teachers, by the way. It's not easy, Sakshi. It might not be easy for you and me, because we don't have that much knowledge. We have to first study and then we have to make content. But teachers are so knowledgeable. You have so much knowledge, you interact with students, you even learn from students, you have so many experiences with students, that when you will share those experiences on the social media, you will be a brand by yourself. You are actually a brand. Teachers are the brand, and you need to make use of it. Then only you will be able to grow in career. You will be able to grow in any area that you will work in. So
Absolutely
that's
right.
what we are going to do.
I
Anything else
think
you
this
want to
workshop is something that people should not miss if they want to grow in their career. They want to make sure that they have their own personal brand, which people know teachers by their name. People come to institutes by teachers' name. People come to colleges by their names. So I think teachers are the people who are taking things forward for students. They are building the youth community, and for them it is very very important to listen to what the facilitator has to say on personal branding. I think this is going to be a super fun workshop.
Amazing. Yes, it is going to be amazing workshop for all of you. And thank you so much everyone for joining. I just have one more poll, and that is the rating. I would like to know how useful did you find this workshop. So this will be for me, for Sakshi, for Pooja. If you had a lot of takeaways, if you think that you were able to find something, some answers that you were not able to find, you can give the rating according to that, and you will also get an email after this session, so you can write to us your feedback, your questions. If you have any question from Ms. Pooja, or any suggestion for us, and then we will definitely help you with anything. So we have also shared the giveaway details in the WhatsApp group that is there. And well, I added everyone, but sometimes it happens that not everyone is added because there is a restriction. So what I am doing, I'm also sharing our WhatsApp group link in case you are not in that WhatsApp group. I will just share that with you, so you can also join if you are already in the WhatsApp group for this session. So we can do that. So we have the results here. Thank you so much, everyone, that you gave us 5, 4, 3 stars, and I hope it was very useful for you. and we welcome you again for other workshops, and we are going to have multiple workshops. And if you think that there is something that you would like us to take a workshop on related to education, related to any policy, related to anything related to stress management, anything related to pedagogies, you can write to us. We will consider that. We will get a speaker on board and we will take this session. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today and being until the end of this session. I thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you, Pooja. I am honored and thank you so much. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Hamid, for having us, and I hope this was helpful for you. Do let us know. We also want to learn from you. So do let us know.
Sure. Thank you. Okay. Take care, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.